Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. What is good? What is good? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you know who I be. Good Doc, Dr. Mike TV. Back again, once again. First time to the channel. Y'all should know already. This one is poised to be an instant classic in the making. Again, first time to the channel, guys. Make sure you subscribe and notify and do all the good things to make yourself well versed in the Good Docs content. All my good stuff shall be listed in a link in the description area below. It's been a while since I've been live. I can calculate to the day. It's been officially 1 full month to the day since the last time that I went live, and the Good Docs just getting back into the groove of things. There's no legit reason why I haven't been live. I just haven't been going live. But I appreciate y'all locking in, and I appreciate y'all coming through. When you come through, make sure y'all drop y'all like. Y'all know what it is, man. Make sure y'all caress, molest, and distress yourself all over that like button. It wants, it needs, it most definitely has to have it. For those that catch us on the replay, y'all make sure you do the same. Shout out to my brother Robert. I see you pimping. Good to see you in the building. But today, guys, I want to talk to you about something that's really been on my mind for quite a long time. Right, as we see the passport community content start to become something that is undeniable, as we start to see a lot more brothers coming to the forefront and representing the community as a whole, you know, we have to sit there and accept it for what it is, and people are going to understand that this is an undeniable movement for many, many moons to come. I think this is the new world order. A lot of people can't accept it, but it is what it is. But like every new movement, there's often some things about it that you can agree with, and there's often some things about it that you're gonna disagree with. So in today's video, guys, I wanted to have the heart-to-heart conversation about, is the passport community beginning to separate itself? All right. Is the passport community beginning to separate itself? And I came across an article that I want to share with you guys real quick that I was reading, and it really did somewhat inspire me to do this live show today. All right, so let me go ahead and share it with y'all real quick. Put my little self in the corner. All right, let me share this screen with y'all real quick. Just let me know if it's not sharing. Presents. It's been a while since I've been doing this, y'all, so y'all bear with me. Share the screen. My little self over there. Share the screen. Shout out to my brother Mike. What's good with you, pimping? All right, so here's the article, ladies and gentlemen. Let me close out all the stuff that pops up. If it comes up, I hope that you guys are able to see it a little bit clearer than most. Let me see if it comes up on my phone. But again, for those of y'all that are filtering into the live show right now, y'all just make sure that you drop your like. Doc would highly appreciate that one. Give me an uno momento. I'm just trying to make sure that what y'all see is the exact same thing that I'm seeing, because I don't want y'all to ever get it mistaken or ever get it confused. All right. So it looks like we're good to go. All right. So came across this article earlier when I was just going through Passport Brethren content, you know, some shit that I thought would be interesting to bring to the table. So this article, I want to make sure that I clarify that this is written by a young lady. Her name is Katsuri Sakaya, I believe. Let me try to get that right. Katsuri Sakaya, right? And the article basically says what? This is 7 WTF or 7 what the fuck reasons why men like it better traveling with their guy gang, or basically their guy friends. Now, there's not much to go on with this article, so I'm just going to run through the 7 things that she actually wrote down in this particular article, and then we'll get to where I'm getting at this particular point of the live show, okay? So basically, she says guys would choose a trip with their guy gang over a trip with their hot girlfriends and wives any day, almost any day. So while it's an unsolved mystery that's causing the lives and marriages of many, it's almost inevitable. However, we've cracked the mystery and found the following factors to have triggered such nature in men. Okay. So basically what she's saying is, y'all got to know, man, we would rather travel with our guy friends rather than our girlfriends. Let's keep it a buck. I'm married, so I mean, fuck it. I know what is required for me to travel when I come with the wife and shit. I know this. Why do I know this? Because I know how my wife packs, right? It is what it is. And to be honest with you, Doc don't really have a lot of guy friends like that. So if I'm traveling, it'll be with like my brother and my pops and shit. So outside of traveling with her, that would be who I hang with. But let me stop getting off track. Let me get back to business as usual. Okay, so she writes here, the first thing is there's no one to keep them from drinking as much as they want. Okay, there's no one to stop them from drinking as much as they want. She also says, I see these fucking pop-ups, y'all. They get on my damn nerves. Give me a second, y'all. People just, I hate these damn pop-ups, and they're going to keep coming until I get rid of them. So just give me a second. All right, the second thing was they can go to strip clubs, red light areas, and venture into all sorts of adventure they've always dreamed of, right? When you go with your guy friends, there's no limitations on the places that you can go. All right, true. Sliding into number 3. No need to worry about finding a place suitable for the ladies to stay. A lot of us will stay on a cot and whatever. As long as we got a place to lay our heads, we don't care. I can get that and I can understand that. Some of us, we do love the life of luxury and want to live the life of luxury. So we're going to be staying in the best of hotels. Shout out to my boy Michael, trying to stay over there in the Hennon. I think that was over in Boracay, and he's been talking about the Shangri-La over in BGC for a while. It spoils the hell out of us. So some of us do want to be able to find a comfort place to stay, but as long as you're traveling by yourself, you can stay almost anywhere. Number 4, they want to feel forever young and adventurous. That's a lot of us. Okay. 5, when nature calls, they can acknowledge it wherever and whenever they want to. So what, just going and pissing on the street? Okay, I don't know if that's a legit reason why guys choose to travel with their guy gang. But anyways, no worry about following strict itineraries. They can have all the fun in the world. And the last one is you can travel light without extra baggage from your lady. Like I said, I know how my wife packs. Anyways, if I could travel, I would probably travel alone because, hey, I know that I ain't got to travel with all that extra shit. But here's the thing about it all. I want to get back. Fucking with you. Shut up. Wife in the background, always with her extras. Anyways, I want to get back to the top 2, right? And this is what kind of inspired this particular live stream for myself about certain passport men separating themselves from one another. Okay. There is no one to keep you from getting drunk as much as you want to. That's not my lifestyle, bro. That's not me. I'm not looking to go overseas to get fucking shit-faced. I'm not looking to go to bars and clubs and deal with whore bars and adventure into red light districts and shit. That's not me, right? That's not what I look for when I travel, okay? That's not the things that the good doc is putting on his list of itinerary. Excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing real quick. But that's not the things that I'm looking for when I'm going on vacation, y'all. Not necessarily the things that tickle the good doc's pickle. And it has nothing to do with me being married, but I'm thinking about myself from a single man's perspective. I'm not looking to go to bars and get drunk. I'm not looking to hook up with girls in the red light district. But what you'll start to realize is you have a certain group of passport guys that are out there that this is what they want to do. You feel me? There are a lot of guys out there that this is what they travel for. They trying to get it in. They're trying to have fun. They're not worried about being in no relationship. They're not worried about any of that shit. They want to get toe back like a throwback. They want to holler at all the girls that they can, deal with all the, all the sex workers, the whores, whatever you want to call them. And I do believe that this is the high majority of the guys that a lot of these men and women who don't necessarily care for the passport brethren, these are the guys that they're likely referring to. Now, I'm not sitting there and saying that on the opposite end of the spectrum, every single guy is out there trying to look for a wife, trying to find a significant other, but there are quite a few of them that are out there. But today, the video that I put out about the brother talking about guys be spending short periods of time inside of these particular areas. He's over here trying to get dealing with girls from massage parlors and the whore bars and all of that shit and this, that, and the other. That's what's representative of the passport brethren. I think about it and I'm like, look, man, I don't know who you've been watching. I don't know where you get your information from, but that is not representative of the passport community that I'm officially a part of. That's not part of the passport community that we fucks with. You feel me? That's not us. There are quite a few of us. I can probably list every brother in my chat right now that could probably go overseas and bag them a badass female and they never have to set foot in the red light district, set foot in the whore bar, or any of these places that these guys are sitting there talking about us traveling to as part of the passport community. I could come up with quite a few brothers that don't do that. But yet and still, if you want to lump us all into one particular category and you want to put us all together, this is what Passport Bros and shit is all about. Well, then guess what? At some particular point, it's going to get to the point where the passport community is going to have to separate itself. Now, one of the brothers that I do listen to and quite frequently enjoy his content is none other than my boy Brazil Yesh. I like his content. It's my boy. He recently came on the YouTube platform. He was really big over there on TikTok. And, he's talking his truth as it represents the passport community. And even at the end of my last video, I said, look, there's probably a hella big difference between your passport bros and your blue book gentleman types. And I'm going to say that one more time for everybody in the nosebleeds and for those that didn't catch me when I said it the first time. There is a big difference between a passport bro and probably somebody that would consider themselves a blue book gentleman. And what do we mean by this? Your passport bros, and I'm not saying this is representative of all of them because, this is still part of the community that we access. This is part of the community that we somewhat still represent. So I'm not over here trying to shit on nobody. But if you think about passport bros, these are your young, wild, and free types. It kind of reminds me of a fraternity. Maybe I'm looking at it differently, but when I think about passport bros, I do kind of look at us and I like to lump myself in it because, again, I still believe in the majority of the values that come with this particular community. It's like a fucking fraternity. Passport brother community is a fraternity, right? Some guys still live that frat lifestyle, the fraternity lifestyle. This is a brotherhood. This is what we're going to do. When we travel together, we travel as a crew or whatever, however you choose to travel. We're going to go over there. We're going to get fucked up. We're going to have the time of our lives. We're going to fuck all the girls that we possibly can. And some people still live that lifestyle. That's still a part of the way that they want to live their lives. Some people are just catching up for lost times, man. Some people are just like, yo, man, I just got out of a relationship, man. I just divorced my wife. All this shit that's happening, we just trying to get out of the fucking, for lack of a better term, you got these guys out here trying to get out the matrix, and their way of getting out of it is, first thing we gonna do, we're gonna go to the bar, we're gonna get fucked up, we're gonna turn up, we're gonna fucking get laid, we're gonna go get massages, happy endings, we're gonna do all this shit. And to me, with all due respect, that sounds a lot like what this passport bro fraternity lifestyle is a lot like. Just me. It kind of reminds me of a fucking fraternity. Okay? But if you look at yourself, and I like to just use the separation based off of titles, passport brethren, plus the blue book gentleman type, men who travel that conduct themselves the way they're supposed to. We know that we are nothing more than guests in these countries, but we still go there. We still fuck it up, but we do it quietly, right? We find our way into the right center, the right circles. We know the right people to talk to. We know how to embrace the culture. We know how to be a part of the culture. We know how to figure out and talk to the right people that put us in the positions to put us around women that ain't going to be on your walking streets and all of this red light district shit. Quality females do exist abroad, but it seems as though there's a big fucking disconnect when it comes to people who talk about passport bros because they all think that everybody who travels is dealing with bar girls. And that seems to be one of the major talking points. Y'all deal with bar girls. You don't want to marry them, don't want to bring them back to the United States. And again, you can't be mad that they don't want to bring them back to the United States because there's a problem and or a reason that they have that they don't want to deal with women in the West, whatever it may be. And they don't want to bring their woman to that particular country to be tainted, manipulated, or whatever you see it or however you see it. So when I say that the community is starting to separate itself, what I'm saying is passport bros as a fraternity, that frat lifestyle, I feel like that's what a lot of the guys are living, especially those that probably just started to go abroad and shit. They just looking for some chick to tickle their pickle or some shit. The newbies, I can honestly say that a lot of them are looking to just dive head first into some panani, and that's all the fuck they care about. But yet and still, people like myself and other people who have done this before, we seem to handle ourselves differently. It's almost as if, and I'm saying this to be as truthful as I possibly can, it's almost as if you start out as a passport bro and you kind of have to graduate into a blue book gentleman. I really feel like anybody who just starts out traveling, starts out as a passport bro, the fraternity lifestyle of sorts, and they kind of have to graduate themselves into being a blue book gentleman. You have to graduate yourself into being of sound mind, of form, knowing the ways around the culture and knowing different people you can rock with, and knowing how you want to facilitate yourself and do, and handle yourself when you travel. Now, again, let me make sure I make this abundantly clear. I ain't shitting on nobody who wants to go deal with bar girls, man. I'm just saying that's not for me, and that's not for the majority of the guys that I fuck with. Bar girls just ain't our scene. Why? Because that shit could lead to some very, very nasty, some nasty endings for a lot of guys. So for the majority of us, that's not us. It ain't us at all. But I will tell you this. For those of us who know how to conduct ourselves accordingly overseas, we have some of the most profound experiences that, quite honestly, you don't need to record it. You don't need to put it out there for everybody to see. It's just more or less an experience for yourself. Now, I will admit, man, I love being able to film whenever I travel. Again, I know for a fact that I'm guilty of not being able to move like I wanted to for the last couple of years, man, focusing on work. And, the pandemic kind of did keep me still, and I'm first to admit it. But in reality, when I travel, you want people to see the places you go on and the things that you're immersing yourself into, because there's a lot that goes into travel more than just the women. But when you hear everybody who has a naysayer comment about the community, about the people who travel, about the people who utilize their passport, about the people who have these profound experiences abroad, they're like, they just mad because they can't get women in the West. All right, they can't get women in the United States. Usually that's not the issue. Quite honestly, it's not the issue. Quite honestly, it's the fact that they just don't want to. Because I'm telling you, shout out to my boy Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. Right? And I'm name dropping because I just feel like it. I'm name dropping because I feel like it. This brother is what I would consider a brother that's part of the passport community. Right? Do you think this man got problems getting females? Probably not. Right? So when you see certain people that represent the community and you look at them and you can be like, damn, this brother could get any girl in the world, probably. I'm just saying that because, my man keeps himself together, well articulated, the brother smart as hell. I mean, you have a guy that what I would personally say is a total package, big pause, whatever you want to say. He can do it, and he's choosing to date women abroad too. I'm not saying that he's not dating in the West, but you got guys like him that are dating overseas as well whenever he chooses to go. And you're like, well, I don't see him being one of very few people that have problems. And a lot of guys who choose or opt to date abroad or deal with women in overseas countries. It's not that they can't get women in the West the majority of the time. It's just they've gotten to the point where they don't want them. It's just it's not in their best interest to continue to pursue. It's the best way for me to put it. But again, when I talk about the community starting to separate itself, you do realize that, and I hate to say it, man, but when we look at these guys out here slumming and bumming, going to your red light district, staying in these shitty ass hotels and shit, and you see them, what they would like to say, slumming it, bumming it, living that amongst the culture type lifestyle that they trying to portray that they are. It's kind of like, man, there are far better ways to go about living amongst the people and being a part of the culture than slumming it and bumming it on Walking Street. But that seems like that fraternity mindset and lifestyle that seems to come with the passport brother community in the beginning. But once you start to settle in, once you start to realize that shit ain't really what it's meant to be, then I kind of feel like you kind of graduate into something different. That's what I'm gonna say. It's not necessarily a blue book gentleman lifestyle, but you get it, right? You learn how to conduct yourself by conducting yourself appropriately. You put yourself in different circles. People want to bring you around, right? You're not the fuck boy in the country, the guy that's out here trying to bang every bitch that he possibly can. Because here's the problem, and I don't care what you say, man. I've been in the Philippines for quite a few years. And one thing that I can honestly say is word gets around about the foreigner when he touches down. If you're the type of guy that's being seen with multiple women and shit, you think that shit's kosher, eventually ain't nobody gonna fuck with you because now all of a sudden you're now looked upon as the guy that's out here just trying to fuck a bunch of girls. Right? Do you think any respectable young lady is going to give you the time of day? Respectable. Not some chick that you just met last night at the bar. Not some chick that you just met, that you took a bar fine out for a chick or some shit. You think any respectable female that has something to live for or something to lose in regards, a job or whatever, or a reputation of her own, you think they're going to give you the time of day? I'm not seeing it, pimping. I'm not seeing it. Now, again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe y'all see it differently. But for me, I do believe the community is starting to separate itself, and that's one of the main reasons why. It's not working. It's not working the way that it once did it, right? All that extra shit is just in one ear and out the other. All right. But I see y'all in the building, man. Appreciate y'all locking in, man. If you haven't already dropped your like, please make sure you do so. Make sure y'all caress, molest, and stretch yourself all over that like button. It wants it, it needs it, most definitely has to have it. You guys want to support in any capacity, please feel free to do so. But like I said, man, I'm happy and blessed y'all choose to come through, spend a little bit of time with the good doc. Now and then, let's get back to business as usual. Shout out to my brother Robert. What's good with you, pimp? Appreciate you locking in, man. First in the building. My boy Mike, what's good with you, bro? I think you're probably doing your live show now, but appreciate you locking in. SML, what's good with you, man? He says, how does the wifey like the fall colors, and did you get a chance to go to the fair? No, we didn't get a chance to go to the fair. That bums me out because the state fair was just in Raleigh. I want to say, I don't know if it's still going on or not, but me and the wife are going down to Atlanta the first week of November. So, yeah, that's a trip that we got planned coming up. So as far as the fall's concerned, she loved that shit, bro. She liked the changing of the leaves and stuff, man. We went on this little nature walk. It was brief, though, because we was lazy as fuck. It was a brief-ass nature walk, but, kind of going out there and being a part of nature and seeing, like, the fucking leaves change and shit, that's just kind of cool. It's the first time I ever really looked at it because, once you live here, man, and you've been through fall enough times, it's not something that's really fucking, like, amazing to you, but taking her out there, and we did that little nature walk on the trail and shit, and we got to see it. And I actually had to sit there and look at the shit. I was like, this shit kind of beautiful, man. To myself, I got a video that I didn't put out. It was a 10-second short I thought I would put out, but I ain't put it out. But yeah, she's doing okay in the fall, man. Shout out to the homie Bags. What's up with you, man? There's a bunch of beta males in this bitch for sure. Bar girls is the bar scene. That's where it's at for a lot of them. He said the community is already separated thanks to people trying to claim which places are better than others, being fanboys of certain places over others. That's true. That I'm glad you brung that up, and I'm sorry that I've just read this now, but there is a huge, huge separation of the community based purely off of that. You got a lot of guys that are like, man, Central America, Brazil, Colombia, the DR, man, that's where it's at, man. Big booty bitches, all that shit. Oh, they live there. You got somebody like myself and some of my brothers who travel to the Philippines. Yo, man, Philippines is about that life, man. Them nice, petite, small Asian women. We love that shit. Whatever it is, right? So we have, in that regard, really separated ourselves. I got to agree with that one. What's going on, family? He says, I support brothers going overseas and having a good time, but everything you do doesn't have to be shown on social media. Not everyone needs to see what you're doing and who you're doing it with. I agree 100,000%. And I do believe, like I was trying to explain a little bit earlier on, that once you graduate into a different mindset, that becomes a lot more clear, right? When you start getting into situations and dealing with young ladies that I personally believe hold themselves in high regard, you're not going to be out there just posting their ass on social media all the fucking time, right? Everything you do, oh, yeah, look at me and this bad young lady that I'm with. Look at me and this girl that I got from the club last night. Yeah, man, passport gang, right? And they always got a hashtag it, passport bro, passport gang. You'd be like, God damn. Here we go again. And I ain't going to cap, though. Some of them dudes that these women, some of the women that some of these dudes be posting, man, I'm hella suspect on some of them, bro. I'd be like, damn. I said, she all right, right? And the thing is, like, when you try to brag, right, you want to put your best foot forward, a.k.a. the baddest girl you could possibly find is the one you want on your shoulder. But sometimes, though, I'm questioning some of the thought process of a lot of these guys and shit. And that's just me. Maybe that's just me in the background. And I'll never say it out loud until I talk to y'all, but I'll never purposely talk down about what somebody finds to be attractive, because again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, if that's the way you want to look at it. So I can't talk about what some other dudes' preferences in reference to the young lady they choose to rock with. But some of them dudes be with some questionable looking females, man. Some of them they be with some questionable looking females. And I look at myself and I'm like, damn, Can't be me. And again, that goes to the separation category that we just talked about. But for sure, my brother, we cannot be out here posting every single thing that we do with these young ladies. It's stupid. It's dumb. And it looks really bad. It looks really bad when the only thing you're recording or putting on your TikToks or putting on your Instagrams is you inside of a fucking bar. You inside of a red light district place where girls are literally dancing half booty butt naked, right? That is not what I want to represent for the community. But then again, who am I? I'm just one voice of very many that represent the passport community. Again, which is why I'm saying the community to an extent is beginning to separate itself. Because I may not want to be lumped in with the guys that are fucking at bars all the time, because that's not me. That's not how we live. That's not what we do. That's not what we want to do. Don't get me wrong, every now and again, grabbing a drink at a titty bar, just watching some girls get naked or some shit, if that's what you want to do just for the showmanship of it all, I'm not going to argue against that, right? But here's the thing with me, and this is something that a lot of you guys may know. I know I told you guys a long time ago. If you've been following me for long enough, you know this about my life. And if you ever got the Bootyloo Chronicles, which is the best book ever written on God's green earth, if you ever caught my book, you will know the story. But my dad took me to bars and shit when I first got to the Philippines, right? Like, he took me to bars when I first touched down. I was 17 years old. I want you to understand, I never went to bars prior to going to the Philippines because I was fucking underage, right? You can't be under the age of 18 in the United States going to bars. I'm sure you could. Somebody could probably get you in, but I just didn't. Okay. So my dad, when I first touched down, man, he used to take me and my brother to the bars and shit, just to have a drink and just enjoy the shows, right? So that shit got played out for me real quick. By the time I was like 18 or officially moved there, because he took me there when I visited for the first time, like that shit got played, right? But it was an experience with me and my dad and my brother. It was kind of like just a bonding moment, like what men do. And I'm with that. Nobody bar find anybody, none of that shit. It was just an experience, right? So what tended to happen with me is even when I was in Davao, he took me to a couple of places and stuff. Those places probably don't even exist anymore. But what I started to notice is all those bars started to smell the same, right? It had that mildewy, dank, rank smell, right? And what I started to realize is girls who came from that exact same setting all started to smell that way to me too, right? Like it was in their skin, like it was in them. It just felt that way. And I know it's a weird way to describe it, but that's what it was like for me. It was like, yo, they kind of stank. Like bar girls kind of stank. And I'm not saying that in a rude way. That was just how I internalized it. And as a result, it really turned me off of that complete lifestyle. And I think that was something I mentally did to myself to say, yo, this shit ain't for me. Now, if my dad said, yo, son, let's go down to the bars and shit, of course I'm going to go because that's my dad and I want to have fun. My pops and shit and my brother, that's different if they invite me. But other than that, like, them bitches just stank to me. So that's kind of how I internalized it. And ever since then, it kind of turned me off from that particular setting. So I was never really like happy with going to those places, or, I never caught any excitement. It didn't tickle my pickle to go see some girls pull their titties out of some shit at the bar. So it just didn't work for me anymore. And that's kind of how I got over that, I guess I would say. And as a result, so when I see guys doing that and that's like what makes them happy and shit, I'm like, okay, good for you. But is that really what you want your experiences to be about? That's all I'm saying. Not in the building, man. If you haven't dropped your like, make sure you drop the like. If you dislike it, go ahead. This is a free fucking country. Do whatever you want. He says, most American Jews think all Filipinas are bad. If you ask Pinoys, they are 4s and 5s. That's true. Not every Filipina is the baddest in the country or in the world. And yeah, that's that. I've always respected that perspective. But then again, I guess that's no different than us being from the United States. And when we see women that a lot of guys think are 9s and 10s, but we look at them the exact same way, 4s and 5s, I guess it's the same thing. When you grow up around them, you be around them, you're into them. That's all you see on a regular basis. Sometimes that just ain't what it is, man. Sometimes coming from a different country, moving into the Philippines and being a part of that for the first time. Oh God, I've never seen a woman like this. Oh God, I never met a woman like that. So characteristics and probably personality traits and qualities that you see in them is what probably outside of the looks brings them up to an 8, 9, and a 10. Now, if you ask my brother, he'll tell you Korean girls are where it's at, right? My brother went to Korea. That brother ain't never been the same since, man. So again, like I'm saying, though, everybody's preference is different. Going back to the separation of the community based on preference. Southeast Asia as a conglomerate itself, and I'm talking about all the countries, Japan, if you want to include China in there, if you want to include Thailand, if you want to include South Korea and places like that. If those are your countries of choice, you know, you have a lot of guys who prefer those. And of course, like I said, the DR, Brazil, and Colombia, traveling in those circles. That pretty much separates the community too. Preferences separate the community, man. But it is what it is, man. A lot of guys can't relate. If they're dating regular girls and you dating models, pimping, I don't think that they're gonna be able to fuck with you for sure. Shout out to the homie, man. Appreciate you locking in. Yo, if y'all haven't already dropped your like, man, please make sure you do so. If you guys want to support, you already know what to do. But you know what it is with them happy endings, man. Guy get a rub and tug, man. This motherfucker about to lose his mind. Oh, my God. This girl touched my wee-wee. Get crazy, man. I'm telling you. That's that. I do believe that's pretty much that fraternity mindset that comes with passport brother community. Now, again, I don't want anybody to think that I'm over here siding with anybody that goes against our community. Because, again, I still represent the brothers that like to travel and use their passport. Can I relate to the shit that they get into? Absolutely not. Because that's not who I am. That's not what I travel for. That's not what I look for when I travel, right? But some guys look for the rub and tug, man. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I guess it's good every now and again for some. But, you know, not everybody can relate. He says, kind of reminds me of the old rap group, Ho Frao. It's what it feels like, too, man. He says, I only have a passport because of my career, but I am thankful for that career because I got to experience the Philippines and other places. Even if the reason you have a passport is work, that still all ties in, man, because I would hope that in one way or another, unless you were in those countries for limited periods of time, right, maybe a week or so, a couple of days or so, and then you're out, I would hope that the time spent in country, you did kind of open yourself up to learning new shit about it, you know? So, again, a lot of people can and a lot of people can't relate. He says, I prefer to work. He said, I prefer to work smarter, not harder, no matter if I can get that thing. He said, I want the hard way. If you're talking about getting the quality women, not just dealing with any old scallywag that's on the block, I agree 100%, man. Shout out to the homie Joseph, man. What's up with you, brother? He said, when I first started traveling, I used to travel with the group that hung around the 304s. It happens. I mean, when you travel in groups, you got to understand there's going to be a couple of guys in that group that are going to want to go straight to the bar. There's no way to get around it. There's going to be a couple of guys out there that just say, fuck it, man. Let me go to the bar, man. Let's go grab a titty or something, man. Let me be something, right? Whatever tickles they pickle, they're going to do it. He says, now as time goes by, he said the shit got old. He said, I like the Philippines because I can communicate better in English. That's true. A lot of Filipinos do speak English, right? English is a second language, and it's not hard to communicate with the majority of them. I do know for a fact that if you don't speak Spanish or Portuguese, traveling to the DR, Colombia, and Brazil could be very difficult for you, right? So I do believe in that regard alone, you could say women in the Philippines have one up, right? In Japan, I don't think English is spoken often. I'm not saying that they don't. I know for a fact China they don't speak that shit at all. And also in South Korea, I do believe it's a struggle, even in Thailand. So I do believe that's one of the characteristics out of all the Southeast Asian countries that kind of put Philippine nuts and Philippines in general, kind of somewhat in a group of their own. Shout out to homie Deadly Miss. What's going on, Pimp? Appreciate you locking in. It's been a minute. Shout out to the homie Julian Brown. What's up, man? He said, I got my passport thinking about Southeast Asia. You know what? Let's go ahead and say it, man. Let's go ahead and say it because I need to talk about this one. I've been holding off for a long time. And again, I may be wrong on my words, so I'm definitely going to choose them carefully. I do believe that the majority of the passport pookies, y'all know who they are. They travel into Brazil, Colombia, and the DR. I feel that. Not too many of them have the patience to travel those 20-hour trips to Southeast Asia. That's a long-ass travel for a lot of people. Now, I'm not saying that a couple of them can't squeak through and sneak through, right? I'm pretty sure there have been a couple of them that have made the trip. But the majority of them, they don't have that patience, and they want to deal with the big booty girls over at DR, Colombia, and Brazil. So you'll probably find them a lot more in those particular countries than you'll find them in Southeast Asia. They're likely, and I'm not saying that they are, but there is a high probability that these particular gentlemen, we're speaking of the passport pookies, they're likely to fuck up that country before they fuck up Philippines and Southeast Asia, because that's going to require a lot of work, far more work than probably traveling to the DR and Colombia. Because I've heard for a fact that all these guys out here tricking and having the time of their lives and shit, it's kind of made the price of the punai go up. Somebody told me that in confidence, and I'm not going to tell you who said it, but there are a lot of guys out there that are saying that these guys out here doing the most, raising the price of the punai. Now, again, I'm just talking shit, but I do believe that you're likely to find a lot more taint, manipulation, and things like that happening in those particular countries first. I'm not saying that it won't ever happen or come to the Philippines, but I'm saying I'm hearing a lot of that happening over there, far more than I am in these Southeast Asian countries, you know? But yeah, man, ain't nothing wrong with Southeast Asia, and there's nothing wrong with Central America, bro. I think they both equally have a claim to fame when it comes to whether somebody likes the place or not. Matter of fact, I'll name drop another dude. Shout out to Austin Holloman. I think that he's currently in and or was recently in Thailand, right? I think that if he goes to the Philippines, he'll have a better experience, but he was in Thailand, and I do believe that on one of his community posts, he specifically said that he's not feeling Asia like he's feeling Central America, right? So he's pretty much locked in. I believe that's pretty much his countries of choice, right? Brazil, DR, and places like that. He's already committed to wanting to be a part of those countries. But as a passport brother, you can't say that you prefer one country over another if you have never been to the other country. So you got to be able to clarify that with validity. You got to be able to go there and say, hey, I fuck with this country because of this, and this, right? I've been to the other country. Don't necessarily tickle my pickle. But if you the type of dude go to these other countries and you be like, yeah, man, fuck this other country. That's like me saying, oh, I'm ride or die for the Philippines, fuck Thailand, but I never been to Thailand, right? How the fuck I'm gonna tell you that Thailand sucks and Thailand this and Thailand that if I never been, right? But you do have some guys that are ride or die for their country. So I can't be mad at it, nor can I knock it. But then again, like I said, you have to be able to put in the footwork, the research, and understand what countries work for you and which ones do not. Oh, yeah, wifey always giving me the evil eye, bro. It's all good. Smelly cat, I remember that. Anyways, guys, man, I appreciate y'all locking in, man. I had no intention on being on very long, man. I just wanted to get some things off my chest, get back into the groove of things. It's been a while since I've done a live show, and I appreciate those that have chosen to show up and support the good doc. Again, if you've already dropped your like, you're doing me more favors than you will ever know. All right? But I'm going to stay open just for a few minutes longer to see if anybody has anything else they want to talk about, anything else they want to converse about, anything else they want me to talk about, questions you have, comments, concerns. I'll be glad to answer them based on, to the best of my ability. But again, my intention wasn't to be on very long, just to get back into a live stream groove of things, because I got some things in mind that I really want to try to put together. Right, I've been talking about it with my boy, so we're gonna see what we can do about it. And once it comes to fruition, and once we figure it out, I'll be glad to be able to share that with you guys. Hopefully, that'll be coming soon. But if you guys ain't got stuff else to say, I'll be glad to go on and let y'all get to getting, and let the good guy go and get the business. All right, let me take my drink, man. I'm getting all throat parched and shit. Anyways, guys, in conclusion, I'll say this, man. The passport community is still a community nonetheless. We all pretty much hone in on some of the same similar values, right? There's a lot of value in the community, right? There's reasons why we choose to travel. Everybody has their legit reasons for travel, right? We know this. So there's no knocking the hustle. I just think that whenever we start to get into what your overall preferences are, what your overall needs are, and are they being met with travel, and you start to realize the needs that are being met with travel tend to be from a personal nature, and it always seems to involve women, that's when I start to see the separation come again. Like I said, man, Passport Bros reminds me a lot of a fraternity. And that's the best way for me to separate it from what I would refer to as the Blue Book gentleman. Right? Again, I didn't coin that phrase. Let me make sure I note that. I ain't come up with that shit. But it seems to encompass everything that I believe in as far as what a true Passport brethren is all about. But yeah. That's me, man. However y'all see it, man, please let me know in the comment section below. Anybody who catches this video later on, let me know how you feel about it. I'm open to hearing it. I'm open to the dialogue because, again, a channel like mine is definitely diverse and it's meant to be open forum, right? So I appreciate y'all locking in. He says, what did you hear about the last earthquake? Did I miss something, brother? You got to help me out with that one. I know you asked me that question in the comment section. Are you talking about earthquake in the Philippines? Huh? At the same time? Or no? Do you know the magnitude? Hold on. Okay, so the wife clarified because I didn't know. I didn't hear nothing, but there was a earthquake. I assume it was about 6.5 magnitude out there in the Philippines. What area did it hit? All of them? I don't know, Manila, fucking Davao, some shit. I don't know, man. I'm sorry, y'all. I feel bad, man. I've been out the loop, but I've been working shit. But yeah, it was an earthquake that did hit the Philippines. I didn't hear anything about it till she just told me. So yeah, I hope everybody's Gucci in the cooch. What's wrong with it? Did it fuck up some shit? Did it fuck some shit up? Hey, man, I'm telling you. Huh? Oh, she said Digos, maybe. All right, I'll let her check up on that one, but I ain't gonna tell. Let me tell you what happened, y'all. I'm gonna tell you my worst ever earthquake story, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this shit. All right, so me and the wife were renting the Airbnb. She was my fiance at the time. I'm gonna make sure I note that. She was the girlfriend at the time. Anyways, so we was in an Airbnb. What floor were we on? Was it the third, second? It wasn't even. We weren't high. Damn thing don't go higher to like the 5th floor, right? So we sleep, yo. We sleep, and all I do is feel the fucking building starting to sway. I'm freaking out, yo. I'm like, what are we supposed to do? I'm straight up bugging the hell out, man. I think I'm gonna shit myself because I'm laying down and I'm asleep, and I'm thinking I'm dreaming or something, right? Because the building, when I say the building was swaying, I mean the damn thing was moving. And I'm telling you, it's not built like a tower. It's built like a block. So it's like a rectangular style building. So there's like maybe 7+ apartments or whatever on one floor. So the way that it's built is it's not built straight up like the towers, like where my dad stay at in Ermita, Malate. Those towers, it's not built like that. It's built like, something that's meant to be sturdy and standard. Damn, whole building was swaying. I said, bro, I can't do this no more. And from that moment on, that was the time when I realized I don't know how comfortable I am getting into a condo or buying a condo in an area that's more earthquake prone. Now, again, I don't know how to determine what areas are earthquake prone like that. But at the end of the day, that was the learning lesson of a lifetime when that earthquake hit and the fucking building was swaying like it did, almost like that thing was about to collapse. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm on this floor. So there's a couple of floors above me, a couple of floors below me. I'm not trying to get trapped in some shit. It was a mess, y'all. Scariest experience of my life. This was 2018, I believe, when I was back there. It was 2018. But yeah, in conclusion, man, I don't fuck with the earthquakes, big dog. I'm not cut for that. Freak me the fuck out. Anyways, love y'all, man. Shout out to the brother Earl Owens all the way from Tacoma, Washington. Big dog, appreciate you locking in. Maximus, man, appreciate y'all locking in. Guys, I'm not going to stay on very long. I ain't going to drag this bitch out, man. I appreciate y'all locking in, man. Y'all already know what to do, man. If you haven't already liked, shared, commented, subscribed on this video, you lacking, right? Anybody who catches this video at the end of it, appreciate y'all. Y'all already know. Shout out to the silent partners, the individuals in the background that just sit there and listen to the good dot talking shit. Y'all help me more than you'll ever know. Shout out to my brethren who keep me on my toes, the ones that participate in the chat, the ones that I'm able to officially shout out, right? Y'all know what time it is, man. Time for the good night to go and get to getting, man. Y'all take care, man. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out. Peace.